really worried about the business plan. Oh, I'm not really worried about the budget. But I see the biggest mistake with a lot of our childcare clients, or even just in general, people wanting to start businesses. We think like, oh, let me get the building and then I'll figure everything else out from there. And really, based on where you choose the location, where you set up your childcare center, the type of childcare center you get, the size of the building that you purchase, all of those things matter. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel here. My name is Dominique E. Savage, and on this channel we talk everything childcare. So in this video today, I'm going to be talking about your basic 4 steps in your childcare startup space, whether you want to start your own dream childcare center, whether you're thinking about starting a center in your home. For the most part, no matter where you're located, you got to go through some of these steps. So if this is what you're looking for, this is going to be the video for you today. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so one of the first things I want to jump into in this video when you're thinking about starting a childcare business, one of the first things I want to talk about is, I'm going to jump right into it. The first thing I'm going to say before you do research, before you create a business plan, before you tell your friends, your family, gotta get your mindset right. You really gotta understand the shift of starting a business and being an entrepreneur. You really gotta shift your mindset to understand what you're about to go through, research what you're about to go through, switch your mindset, surround yourself by other people so you can really understand all that it takes to be an entrepreneur and start a business. It doesn't matter what kind of business you have, you just need to make sure that you yourself mentally is ready to go down this journey and this path of starting your own childcare business. So that's gonna be the first thing I'm gonna say is A, get your mindset right. You know, shift your thoughts, because you can't be having like fear and trying to open up a business, or what if it doesn't work, or what if this doesn't happen, or I might not have enough money for this, or all of the things that happens when we wanna do something that's out of our comfort zone, right? And I share that because I have opened up at least 3 childcare centers with my partner over the past 13 years of being a childcare provider myself. And let me tell you something, I've taken my last and started businesses. It's been plenty of times that fear could have sank in, whether starting a business and starting that childcare center. Maybe it opened up in 6 months. Maybe I thought it was going to open up in 3 months and it took a year. Like, get your mindset right. Get your mindset ready and right to do something that you've never done before. But more importantly, make yourself believe and know that you deserve to start that business and start that dream that you've been thinking of. So that's going to be the first disclaimer that I'm going to throw out there if you're thinking about starting any business, but particularly childcare, because this is a road like no other. Alright guys, so one of the first things I'm going to jump into when you're thinking about starting a childcare business, I'm going to say like step 1, after you get your mindset right and switch into the CEO hat, is definitely going to be your budget and your business plan. I cannot stress it enough. Going to be your budget and your business plan. And some of the things that you think about when you're thinking about your budget is you're really sitting down, taking the time. I see people do this mistake so many times. They say, oh, I want to start a daycare center, and then what happens? They go get the building, which is like putting the carriage before the horse. So they go get the building, and then after they get the building, then they sit down and be like, oh, I wonder how much this is going to cost. And now that I got this $5,000 rent, this is how much this is going to cost. No, do not make that mistake. That's why you're watching this video. That's why you're educating your mind, okay? So do some of your basic due diligence of writing out a detailed budget and how much you can afford, right? So whether you're qualifying for a loan, whether you're getting some funding, whether you're taking some savings, you know what your bottom line number is. So you really, really want to write down your budget. And some of those things that you're going to obviously include in your budget is going to be like your rent or mortgage. That's a non-negotiable. Your utilities, your liability insurance, obviously your supplies, you know, all the things that you need to fund the classrooms with, manage your day-to-day operations, definitely some of your salary, and most importantly, your marketing. Those are like some of your basic, and I'm gonna say basic, startup costs, because we're not even talking about licensing yet, okay? So sit down and look at your budget and how much you can afford, because based on how much you can like afford financially and in looking at it over a period of time, because most leases are 3 years, 5 years, 2 years. I would never get nothing below 2. But you know, most of those leases honestly, you know, are factoring in certain things. And so based off of what you can see, oh, this is gonna cost me on average about a $5,000 a month, and I feel comfortable with that number, give or take, then that's gonna let you know where you're shopping at. That's gonna let you know your shopping market. That's gonna let you know, like, yeah, no, I definitely am looking for a rent that is no more than $3,000. I'm definitely looking for a rent that's more than $3,500 because I gotta have money for X, Y, and Z according to this square footage. So that's why I've taken the time to write out a budget. That's why I've taken the time to really do your due diligence and kind of look at, you know, your figures and how much you saved or what you qualify for financially is really setting yourself up for success further down the line. Another thing I want to talk about is going to be the business plan. Okay, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, I gotta write a business plan. That's too much work. Let me tell you something. If you don't want to take the time to write the business plan, then you might as well skip over some of those other steps, because truth be told, writing out a business plan is not as hard as you think, okay? And I'm gonna share one is that a business plan really allows you to, you know, like stretch your vision. A business plan really allows you to see what kind of service you're providing, what is your mission, what is your vision, what are your startup costs, who's your target audience. Like it's the research behind your business. You gotta put time into the research and the vision and the creation. So take that time to do budget and business plan, a part of your step one, after you get your mindset together, okay? And if you need a business plan, please head over to our website at www.educatedminds.com. Okay, so now that you got your mindset together, you kind of figured out some figures when it comes to budget and business plans, and you know, like what your ballpark number is, your ballpark budget, right? Kind of got that underway. Now this is where we go into, you know, step number two. And step number two is really going to be, which is one of the most important steps, and it really is familiarizing yourself with licensing. Okay, once you familiarize yourself with licensing for your individual state and city, or your individual state and, you know, borough that you're going to be servicing, it's going to make your life that much more easier. I always say familiarize yourself with the licensing process, because the licensing, like that handbook, is like the Bible. You know what I mean? Like you gotta really understand and know, you know, what it takes. So like, how many bathrooms does this square footage need? How much, you know, are you gonna have a food program? Are you not gonna have a food program? You know, how many toys do I need to have, or give or take centers, you know, in this space? So really, really familiarize yourself with licensing. And licensing is really important, because I've seen it all too far, where people get a building, okay, that's super big and super large because we want to go big, and they don't realize, oh wait, this building, and according to this square footage, if you have this much square footage, you're going to need 7 bathrooms. You're going to need to invest in a $10,000 sprinkler or higher, right? So really familiarize yourself with licensing. I've also seen so many childcare owners make the mistakes of getting a building that's super large, and they literally can't afford it. They could have took their same vision and their same dream of starting a childcare business, but then it becomes a hassle, or it becomes a real financial deficit because they went too large too soon, right? So really understand and familiarize yourself with licensing, right? So you want to look at like, what's zoning? What are some of those regulations? What is the health department? You know, what's some mandatory equipment, refrigerators, microwaves, things I gotta factor in my what? Budget, okay? So you really, really want to familiarize yourself with the licensing. What are some accessibilities? What are some of your proximity of your target audience, and, you know, families that you service? Is it a busy area? Is it not a busy area? These are all things you want to think about when you're thinking about your licensing process. And last but not least, location, okay? Once we get done looking at your basics and you're like, okay, I got a little bit of money saved up, my credit somewhat okay, I think I kind of got at least a good number based off of what's on paper, what I'm getting my ideas out, right? Now I feel like I'm definitely ready to do the best part, and that's building shopping, okay? And I want to give this disclaimer: be gentle with yourself in the process of building shopping, okay? Trust your process. Do not rush your process. Building shopping is just like house shopping. It's just like car shopping. You know what I mean? Like when you know, like, no, this is a great car. It's an affordable price. The insurance is affordable. This is the one, good color, all of those things. Are you gonna find your ideal building month one? Probably not. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Probably not. I've seen people build and shop for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, because it's not meeting their goals, their budget, what they can afford, it's not meeting it. Like, it's just not, you know. So you got to be patient, and you got to allow it to come to you and flow. I always tell my clients in our childcare startup space, like, don't be building happy, okay? And being building happy is where it's like, I love this building, it's perfect, it's already a center, these are all the things that I love, but I'm really at my peak number when it comes to like affording this thing, right? Even if my startup process, I'm thinking is going 3 months, but that's all I can afford is 3 months, because if this gonna take longer than that, I really can't afford that according to how much it actually costs me. So really take the time to maximize your licensing process, understand what it kind of takes. You don't got to master it, but understand it. And then last but not least, the location. So you want to look at, you know, like your location as far as, is it a busy area? I call it prime real estate. Is it busy? Is it buses? Is it schools? Is it other childcare centers? How far are the other childcare centers? Are they fully enrolled? Are they vacant? Like, there's a lot of things to take into consideration when you're looking at your location. But one of the biggest tips that I give in my Childcare Startup University course, if you're looking for it, visit educatedminds.com. But one of the #1 tips that I give in the startup course is try to save yourself the hassle and find a building that was already a daycare. I cannot stress it enough. Try to find a building that was already a childcare program, because it really saves you so much money in your startup process. And why do I know that? Because we've taken a building that was not a childcare center and did a full-on flip, and it took us about a year to get open. Then we took another childcare center, 2 other childcare centers, and we opened them give or take about a year apart, and those startup processes only took us 4 months, 5 months. Why? Because the foundation and the groundwork was there. So location is super, super important when you are choosing your childcare program. Alright guys, so my last phase forward, this is the fun part, right? You've spent all this money, you've been locked into this contract, you're trying to bring your vision to life, and you're like really trying to get your business open. This is the fun part, step 4, okay? That's going to be opening, which means you pass your licensing, okay? Might have passed your health inspection, you passed your licensing inspection, and now you've passed your state inspection, and baby, you are open, okay? So now it's like, well, what do I do? How do I know my flow? And honestly, I tell people, this is one of those businesses you gotta get in there. Like, you're not gonna know how your systems are not gonna flow. You're not gonna know until you're really in the thickening of it and you have a team, or you bring kids in and you do enrollment. So definitely on opening day, you wanna make sure that you have your supplies ready. You wanna make sure that you have your food and your meals ready if you're gonna be providing lunch and meals to, like, you know, your families. You wanna make sure that you're welcoming families in, you're finalizing paperwork, because you definitely wanna make sure that you're staying in compliance. That's a big one. I have a whole nother video about that and staying in compliance. But you really, this is where you're like getting the meat and potatoes as you're getting ready to open up your childcare program. So you have opening day. Okay, before you get to opening day, you're obviously gonna be marketing, right? You should be marketing your entire process. I have a whole different video on marketing, but you're going to be marketing your business in this space where it comes from, like social media, Instagram, TikTok. You might have influencers. You might do the old school way where it's the hand-to-hand. And let me tell you something, the hand-to-hand marketing definitely works. Like, I can't tell you how many people call like, oh, I saw such and such with this shirt on. Do you guys have enrollment? Do you guys got space? Don't think that your only way for marketing is online. Online is great, but offline is just as pivotal, right? Familiarize yourself, get out into the community, go to some pop-ups, go to some schools, introduce yourself, market your business. No one knows who you are. No one knows that you have a childcare program. No one even knows that you're offering a bomb service, right? So make sure that you get out there in the community, make your presence known, give out free things, welcome people in, have an open house day, schedule tours in, like, get in the mix. Okay, put your business out there. It deserves that. You've been doing all of this spending money, right? You've been spending a lot of money. You've been slaving day and night to really, like, get this, be working long hours, setting up your classrooms, doing everything, being anxious for inspections. It's a part of the process. So now it's time to market your business, get your doors open, and welcome families in so that you can start your dream. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was a rewarding experience for you as you are starting your childcare business. If you like this video and more where they came from, definitely make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can know every single time I drop a video. But more importantly, leave me some comments down below and let me know what are some things that you're struggling with in your childcare startup journey. Until next time.